everybody, it's NerdieBirdie here, and hey, I'm not using a face cam. This is going to be a pretty different video. Today we're going to be talking about how I make my thumbnails. For all of you people wondering, or getting started with YouTube, maybe you're just looking for some extra tips, well, I'm going to tell you how I make mine. So first of all, which program am I using? I am using a program, it's an amazing program, called Adobe Photoshop Elements. You have to pay for it once, but there's no subscription, and there's no like locked features or anything after you buy it. What we're gonna wanna do first is start with a background. Now, you may not think the background is very important, but it really is. If you use a random picture as a background, it's not going to pop out at all. What you want the background to do is to stand out against the other videos that you see on YouTube. Right now, pull up a YouTube page and look at the different videos you see. What pops out to you? This is what you want to go for, and typically what pops out to people is a bright background. So what I do is I have pictures and I have a stuff for what I use for my channel and everything in YouTube, and I have a section for backgrounds. You can see I've got some different backgrounds here. Most of them I don't use very much. The one that I use for my thumbnails is this orange one. Now I like this orange one because, as you can see, it is a gradient, so it's not completely the same color, so it's a little bit better to look at, as well as it being orange. This is bright. It pops out of you. It pops out at you. It doesn't pop out of you. If there's orange stuff coming out of you, you might want to see a doctor about that. But it pops out at you from the screen, and it stands out from the other videos. You just want to make your entire thumbnail stand out. So one of the things that I do in most of my videos is I have my character over here on the left side. Now, how do you get a character like a 3D model like that? Well, I use a really awesome free program called mine-imator, which you can see right here. I have projects with all my different models that I make. So you can see, where are all my, there, here's some more of them. So basically I just model everything in here. What's this? This is a camera. Mine-imator can do a ton of different stuff. You can do player models or zombie, skeleton. You can do all these different mobs. You can put in terrain, items, lighting, chests, all sorts of different stuff. It's amazing. You can also animate with it, although I've never personally done it with that myself. So what we do is we just move the camera to a blank place in the world, and then we can look over here and create a player. Now, it'll let you browse your files for a certain skin, or you can download it directly from a Minecraft user. All you have to do is type in their name. I actually have some already saved, so it knows, like a happy version of my NerdieBirdie skin that somebody made for me with a big smile on its face. I want to use this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him, and you can see these arrows that let you turn him around. Now this is not going to be a full-fledged mine-imator tutorial. If you want one of those, there are plenty of them online. This is more how to make thumbnails in general, so I'm going to kind of go fast through this, but you can definitely learn this program really easily with a few YouTube tutorials. We're going to take this, and maybe I'll be like pointing at it, right? Like, look at this! And I'll be pointing at the text. So right there, and then I can bend this arm a little bit and spin it like so. It's usually good to move the legs at least a little bit, just so that they don't look boring and just standing completely 100% straight. That just doesn't look good to me. So something like this is perfectly fine. Now what you can do is you can render it so that it will be shaded and everything. How you do that is you go up to here, you can export it as an image, remove the background, and then you can save it to a file. So I have a folder here with all these different ones numbered. I'm at 27 right now, so we'll call this pose 27, and now the image is saved. We can go back to Photoshop Elements, find that model that we just made, character, me, and 27. Now this is going to put it in a new window. As you can see, it took out the background, so it's just my character. That's perfect. We want to go back to this orange background and drag up our bird character. There we go. NerdieBirdie is now on the background. We can make him a little bit bigger by simply dragging the corners. Now if you do not have a program like Adobe Photoshop Elements and you just want something free and simple, what I used before doing this was PowerPoint, actually. Microsoft PowerPoint. Microsoft Word also works really well. You can use Paint.net. There's a lot of different programs out there that are alternatives to this, so you can look those up online. Here's our eraser tool. We can zoom in using Alt and the scroll on our mouse, and we can see, hey, this is just hanging in nowhere. So let's go ahead and we will erase that part. Oops, we have the background selected, so let's do this. And we will simplify the layer. This just makes it editable. So now I can go ahead and get rid of that. Now that looks much better. See, you can't tell at all. Perfect. So now what we're going to do, this is going to be a relatively simple thumbnail. There's not really going to be a lot happening here. What we're going to do is we're going to add in some text. Now I would highly suggest using a custom font. I have Lemon Regular. You can choose from any of the fonts on your computer, but what you probably want is a custom font, or at least one that jumps out at you. You also want to choose a color that pops out. You can have the text be on different layers as well. You don't have to do it all with the same text. So if you want some words bigger than others, then you can do that really simply. So we're going to do how to, really big like that. You want to make sure that this color is very different from your background color. You do not want this to look similar at all, or else it's just gonna blend right in. Let me turn this red and show you what I mean. Look, you are not gonna be able to read that very well when you are on a YouTube page just scrolling by. And we're gonna make this the biggest word because this is the key word. This is the word that people are looking for. Thumbnails. They are trying to figure out more about thumbnails, so we want to make sure this is the biggest word. So that we can make this bigger, we're going to have this text go a little bit above me. Now, as you can see, you can't see the letters behind me. They are blocked. That's because this layer up here is above all of the other layers. So if I put this below all the other layers, there we go. So whatever is near the top is on the top layer and will show up first. That's very, very useful. So as I said, this is a really simple thumbnail. It's just text and one image. That is it, because it's just a tutorial. Nothing specific is really happening in this episode. It's just a tutorial. Now we're going to make this text look more fancy. What you want to do is right click it if you're using this program. If you're not using this program, then you might have to mess around with it yourself, or you might not even have this option. But what I like to do is make this text stand out even more. You can add a little bit of drop shadow. That just makes it a little darker behind. You can see it already stands out a little bit, but not too much. Should we make it glow? I want to see how it looks with a glow. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. Bevel just makes it look a little bit more 3D. And then stroke. Stroke is the best part of this, because you can just make your text pop. Look at that. That is so much easier to read than this text down here, especially when the thumbnail is small like it's going to be on a YouTube page. Now if you go ahead and go to this one, you'll see that it has FX. It has effects on it. So what we can do is we can right click it, copy layer style, and then select both of the other ones, holding Control, and then you can paste the layer style. And now, this looks so much fancier. But now, my character looks a little bit dark and hard to see, so let's edit his layer style as well. We'll add more drop shadow. I typically add more drop shadow for characters, although I don't like it that much. Let's turn it down a little bit. Sure, that's good. You can kind of mess with the bevel as you like. I mean, it's kind of a preference thing. Then we can go ahead and use this stroke. For characters, you want to make stroke a little bit bigger than on text, and I typically turn it white because it makes it pop more. There we go! So this is looking pretty good. Maybe let's tilt some of this text, make it look a little bit more fun. So let's go up here, and you can see my mouse has turned into a little turny thing, and now I can shift directions of it. So we're gonna do a how-to like this, and then we might have to make the word make a little bit smaller. We can just do that by dragging in the corner. There we go. How to make thumbnails. I'm liking this pretty well. This is looking like a completed project. So we've got the orange background, which stands out on YouTube because you don't see many orange backgrounds, and it's a bright color, catches your eyes. We've got the bright blue text that works really well against this orange, and then we've got this nicely outlined and everything, has shadows and everything. It's looking pretty good. Now, of course, there are a lot more tools here. There's a lot more you can do, especially with this program, that I'm not going to go into full detail to. This is not a tutorial on how to use the program. It is just how I make thumbnails. You can add in more images, and you can edit them the same way. This is the basics. When you're done, go to File and Save As. Now, you want to make a place, probably, that you store all of your projects. So we're going to call this thumbnails. There we go. Now that just saved the project. We can go ahead, press Save As again, and we'll see that it's saving as a Photoshop project. If you click on one of these, you are not going to open an image. You are just opening the project, and it will open in this program. Now where I save my thumbnails is in Pictures, Channel Stuff, Thumbnails, and then I have a bunch of different folders for all my different series. We will turn it into a PNG. PNG is the best type of picture. We can go ahead and save it. Now this will save it as an actual picture, not a project. We can go ahead, press that, and here it is, how to make thumbnails. Now when you go to upload on YouTube, you can press upload custom thumbnail, and then you can just choose your file. And here we have it, a custom thumbnail. So I hope this helps you guys learn how to do this, how to work with this program specifically, or maybe some ideas on other programs you may be using. If you need more help, feel free to message me somehow. You can message me on Twitter or comment on the video on YouTube, and I will help you out to the best of my abilities. So, good luck with your YouTube careers, young ones or old ones. You might be older than me, I don't know. But that's about all we've got. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!